Some are indicating that the shale oil industry may collapse due to the sharp fall in oil prices. That's a pretty bold statement. That statement was made by the oil economists coming out of Goldman Sachs, talking about that these prices will not, the shale industry will not be able to sustain themselves during this period of low prices. They've done about all they can do. Some of them, of course, reopening, but the ones that have already sheltered down, they need to probably continue that for a while. According to some, they're saying that it is likely to, the whole industry in and of itself could collapse. So all this because of the pandemic, of course, and the lack of demand. Now, demand and price of oil have tumbled both at the same time. That's a nightmare. And now we have prices still staying relatively low. The prices have come down and demand is starting to pick up a little bit as we are seeing more and more drivers coming back. So we'll wait and see. I mean, we'll see how all that is going. But that's what they're talking about. And that could be very, I mean, we could basically lose our position, our dominance as far as oil goes in the world right now if we lose our fracking industry. So we don't want to lose that. It's a very expensive process to extract oil out of the ground through fracking, and it just can't really bear these prices. It can't hold up. So economic shutdown, and though the economy is beginning to recover a little bit, it's just not enough. There's an Australian think tank, the Institute of Economics and Peace. They are in Australia, and they warn that low prices will affect political regimes in Saudi Arabia. Listen, you got Saudi Arabia. This is a monarchy, right? So you got Saudi Arabia, whose monarchy has been taking care of its people by way of a lot of money as a result of oil. That is going to start to change dramatically. If that starts to change too much, it's going to start to threaten those regimes. And look, they can't do anything about it. They have used a lot of their sovereign wealth fund trying to support the economy in this low oil environment. That's not going to change anytime soon. They're going to have to continue to do that. They are getting a break right now because the U.S. Stock markets have been back up again. They need that. That's a big part of their sovereign wealth fund. But they're saying, especially these regimes, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Iran. Well, Iran, I don't know about Iran. They can't, I mean, can they get any worse? I mean, look, I don't think they can get any worse. If what is happening in Iran right now is not threatening the regime, you almost have to start to think nothing's going to threaten it. There are people starving to death, children starving to death in Iran. The people are very pro-American. They are waiting and hoping that America is going to step in, but they need to create the regime change. So I don't know if it can get any worse right now. But anyway, that's what this think tank out of Australia said today. So analyst tensions around the world and is really hurting the global oil index because the tensions are continuing. Everybody, you look at Russia and the OPEC nations, not just Saudi Arabia, although Saudi Arabia will always be the kind of the head of OPEC. I mean, they're always going to be that. They're the largest producer, the biggest player in all of that. So we'll see what's going to happen, but the notion that the shale industry in America could be threatening collapse, that is going to have Saudi Arabia and other OPEC nations dancing in the streets. It's going to be a very good thing for them. We don't want that to happen. I hope it doesn't happen. And I would probably back some sort of stimulus program in order to make sure that doesn't happen. Not to mention it means tens of thousands of jobs. So unless demand just goes through the roof in gasoline over the summer, but gasoline alone, I don't know if it's going to be enough to drive that. We need industrial production around the globe to start picking up, and that doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. I don't think it's going to happen this summer. I think best case scenario is going to be fall of next year before we start seeing something like that. So we'll see, but it is certainly a huge concern, as it is going to weigh on not only the American economy, but the economy globally. And, you know, we're going to get to a place where it's almost going to be impossible to get things in balance.
Hey, remember to click the subscribe button right here on the screen. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when new content is added. And more importantly than anything, you don't want to miss all 3 live hours of Financial Issues every day from 9 to noon. And you can watch it on FISM.tv. That's FISM.tv.